Mandy and I welcome you back to The Chosen's Blended Harmony of the Gospel. We're on day 6, part 2, where Jesus gets rejected at Nazareth. Jesus rejected at Nazareth. He came to Nazareth, where he had been brought up, so his hometown. As usual, he entered the synagogue on the Sabbath day and stood up to read. The scroll of the prophet Isaiah was given to him, and unrolling the scroll, he found the place where it was written, "The Spirit of the Lord is on me, because he has anointed me to preach the good news to the poor. He has sent me to proclaim release to the captives and recovery of sight to the blind, to set free the oppressed, to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor." He then rolled up the scroll, gave it back to the attendant, and sat down, kind of like a mic drop there. And the eyes of everyone in the synagogue were upon him. He began saying to them, "Today, as you listen, the scripture has been fulfilled." They were all speaking well of him and were amazed by the gracious words that came from his mouth. Yet they said, "Isn't this Joseph's son?" Then he said to them, "No doubt you will quote this proverb to me, 'Doctor, heal yourself. What we've heard took place in Capernaum, do here in your hometown.'" He also said, "Truly I tell you, no prophet is accepted in his hometown. But I say to you, there were certainly many widows in Israel in Elijah's day, when the sky was shut up for 3 years and 6 months, while a great famine came over all the land. Yet Elijah was not sent to any of them, except a widow at Zarephath in Sidon. And in the prophet Elijah's time, there were many in Israel who had leprosy, yet not one of them was cleansed except Naaman the Syrian." When they heard this, everyone in the synagogue was enraged. They got up, drove him out of town, and brought him to the edge of a hill that their town was on, intending to hurl him over the cliff. But he passed right through the crowd and went away. Jesus moves to Capernaum. He left Nazareth and went to live in Capernaum by the sea, in the region of Zebulun and Naphtali. This was to fill what was spoken through the prophet Isaiah. "Land of Zebulun and land of Naphtali, along the road by the sea, beyond the Jordan, Galilee of Gentiles. The people who live in darkness have seen a great light, and for those living in the land of the shadow of death, a light has dawned." So when Jesus went back to his hometown, they didn't accept him. But, you can't be too hard on the people. It would be like you grew up with the kid next door that you played kickball with, every other day after school, and suddenly he's preaching and saying that he's the Messiah. I mean, that would be kind of, shocking for sure. But it is sad that they rejected him because, he loved them probably the most because he did grow up with them. But when he said, that he is the Messiah and it has been fulfilled in your hearing, it was just too much for them to take. But of course, God protected him. Even though they took him to an edge of a cliff, the angels were with him, protected him, and Jesus made his way right through the crowd and was saved. I like this part. I'm going to read it again. He left Nazareth and went to Capernaum, and he read this. And then this was to fulfill what was spoken through the prophet Isaiah. "Land of Zebulun and land of Naphtali, along the road by the sea, beyond the Jordan, Galilee of Gentiles. The people who live in darkness have seen a great light, and for those living in the land of the shadow of death, a light has dawned." And that must have been exciting for them. A light must have dawned because here they are living under Roman occupation. Things are not very good, and suddenly Jesus is there, and they're realizing this is the Messiah, the one we've been waiting for. So for those who believed, it was like coming out of the dark into the light. And my friend, I hope you believe as well, because he wants to pull you out of the darkness. Living with Jesus is like living in the light. Things don't always go well every day for you, but I know even on the hardest days, and I had a really hard year last year, but I know that my future is in heaven with Jesus, and so that bright light in my life just overshadows all the darkness. So I hope you do look to him because he is the light of the world. Have a great day thinking about that, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. You can get your own copy of A Blended Harmony of the Gospels by The Chosen simply by going to thechosengifts.com. There you can find all kinds of wonderful merchandise to help build your faith this year. Be sure to check out their devotionals and their Bible studies. Have a blessed day.